It's your girl, sometimes your boy. Watch this. Maybe you can help your loved ones. That's what I'm trying to do. Let's get it, Joe.
For the Kiad family of Brisbane, this holiday last Christmas was the trip of a lifetime. 2.5 weeks in Europe, skiing, sightseeing and partying. Do you remember the holiday, Nicole?
No, do we? Think back. Where did we go? I don't know. Like, no.
But it's a holiday Nicole Kiad just can't remember, even when her husband Brad plays these home videos.
And you stopped and you were so excited.
Is it me?
That is you, except for that bit
What
there.
was it? What was it?
At Christmas time, that was Christmas Day, Boxing Day.
Yeah.
We did Boxing Day, we did that. Boxing Day last year.
Just over 12 months ago, large chunks of Nicole's memory were wiped out after the very common cold sore herpes virus attacked her brain. Unlike Alzheimer's disease, though, Nicole's brain won't deteriorate. But right now, even her new memories only last minutes. What is your sense of what's happened to you?
Good question. Not a lot, really. Confusion is what I have. Don't know why. And I just can't remember a damn thing.
I think some children.
Well, I think, yes, they must be my friends, my children and their friends.
It's been 6.5 years since Claire Robertson's brain was also hit by the cold sore virus. It wiped her memory too, and incredibly, all memory of faces, including her own.
Yeah, are these people recognisable? I think that's me. Is it?
Eddie?
Oh, do you know who this is then? It's not me as well. Yeah, gosh.
Claire was just 43 when she lapsed into a coma after suffering what she describes as flu-like symptoms. You woke up to a new life.
Yes,
Is
to
it
complete confusion. I didn't know where I was.
who I was? You didn't recognise your family,
No,
your husband,
no,
your children?
no.
For most of us, this is an experience of a lifetime, riding high over London in the city's iconic eye. But to give you an idea of just how dreadful this syndrome is, for most sufferers, this would virtually be a waste of time. You see, it takes about 30 minutes to complete the journey. So by the time it reaches the bottom, for most sufferers, not only would they have forgotten who they were with, many would have even forgotten taking the ride. We say to people, what's happened really is you've sustained an injury to the brain, just in the way that you would in a car accident, except you didn't have the car accident. Aidan Easton heads the UK's Encephalitis Society, the world's biggest support group for people like Claire and Nicole. Encephalitis means inflammation of the brain, and in their cases, the herpes simplex virus made a direct attack on their brain tissue, and the difficulties they're experiencing now is as a result of the injury to the brain that was caused by the virus damaging the nerve cells in the brain. Claire is married with 4 children. Before her illness, she worked as a nurse. Losing nearly all memory of her life
has been devastating.
I was able to do and be a nurse and mum and friend and daughter, wife. I was happily doing all these things. And the whole loss of that whole feeling of any sense of reality about myself has been awful.
It's quite shocking, really. It's like your previous life was erased.
I do feel left out of my own life. No sense of belonging to it. It's something that's happened and I don't know about it.
Now, I wear a name tag to help you identify me.
Yes.
For Ed, it's his necklace.
It is, yes. His little shark's tooth necklace that he wears all the time.
Ed is Claire's husband of more than 20 years.
I know now that this is Ed, but if he's, away a second later over the other side of the room and there's other people, I don't know who he is at all. But I can see the necklace and I know to be confident and certain that it's him.
People might find that extraordinary because Claire is your wife, but your face is not necessarily the feature that she's
Just as well. It is extraordinary. It is extraordinary.
How did you start again? Because there is this shared history that's gone.
There wasn't a way of doing it. We just sort of carried on. There's definitely an element of having to rebuild a relationship with somebody, because those things have changed. Those shared memories have changed or disappeared. So yeah, you have to rebuild that, and we still are.
Friendships also have to be constantly rebuilt. For those, Claire relies on this book. Every friend is listed with a description of how she knows them, just in case they call or drop in.
What are you going to cook for tea tonight, Nicole?
Nicole Caird is having to start again too, with a carer from Open Minds reminding her how to complete daily chores, a task made all the harder when your memory is always being erased.
Where did we put them yesterday, do you remember?
What, the skewers?
Yeah.
No, must be over there.
No? Hang on. Oh, goody, skewers, yay.
Can you cook?
To be honest, I don't think I've tried. I used to, but I don't.
You have tried.
I have I? Can I?
Nicole desperately relies upon Brad to fill in the blanks, a memory loss that includes significant events. Do you remember getting married?
I know that I am married, but I can't create a visual, if that's what you... Yeah.
Do you remember your children being born?
I know that I've got children and I can picture them, but again, I can't visualise the day of the event. That makes sense.
You don't remember giving birth?
No. No.
When you look at your mum, what do you feel?
I guess sadness because she's not there anymore. Like, she looks the same, but she's just not there inside.
Well done, Nicole.
14-year-old Jessica is struggling with losing the mother she knew. Do you feel like you've lost the connection with your mum?
Yeah, because she doesn't really remember what the connection was or if we had one, but yeah, it's definitely, it's there, like very far in the distance, but it's definitely lost.
If there was one memory you'd like to have back, what would it be?
The girls as babies.
Those big events.
And their first steps and, then as they're growing up, their first day at school and first riding a bike, their first game of football. Just, things like that.
40 minutes into our interview, it was clear Nicole was also unsure why I was talking to her. Have you forgotten us?
I've forgotten who you are, but I know, I've forgotten your names, but I know you're from a known place, if that makes sense. And where are they from? 60 Minutes. Oh, 60 Minutes. Wow.
I experienced the same moment in London.
Hi.
In the few minutes I'd stepped away from Claire Robertson and her friend, she too had forgotten me.
No, you do. You remember who I am, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay,
Sorry.
but this time it's very possible that when Claire gets home, she will remember. This small camera she wears around her neck is recording her every move.
There's memories in there, but unlocking them. Yes. That's it. Yeah. Which is what this is so good at.
This SenseCam, as it's known, has recorded her day with us. It's technology researchers believe can trigger memories. Every 20 seconds it captures a picture, which Claire downloads at the end of the day.
You can rewind
Yes,
the day.
rewind the day. It's not going to be a cure, is it? But it can really make a difference.
Yes. It's helped me hugely. I can now think through, visualise days and events that I've seen over and over again on the SenseCam computer. The strong feeling is the sense of security. They're mine. My memories are my own. They belong to me and I've got them.
And it's this scan of Claire's brain that makes researchers believe it works. This is Claire's brain when trying to remember things that haven't been recorded by the SenseCam. Compared to this, her brain literally lights up when remembering events she has seen on the SenseCam.
It's absolutely amazing. It makes a significant difference in people's lives, and over periods of time that revisiting the images with SenseCam actually to some degree does enable them to relive those moments in a way that just writing notes, handwritten notes, doesn't allow you to do.
It's the research Nicole and her family need to hear. They're still trying to pick up the pieces left by an illness that seems very cruel indeed.
What are your dreams? What are you hoping for? Just to be the person that I was.
Do you think that can be?
I hope so.
So you were trying to think about, see if I had forgot, were you?
Yeah.
But Nicole can take heart from people like Claire. 6 years on, Claire has made real progress, and there are now signs that not everything has been lost.
Have you been able to reconnect with your family?
Yes.
And your husband?
Yes. That I've had a sort of real, more recent, occasional feelings of a real sense of belonging. And it was only last week, I think, I remembered. Now I've forgotten what it was, but remembered something that he used to, that made him happy. And that was, now I remember the warmth, the whole feeling of security and lovely feeling. That's me and Ed.
Difference between Alzheimer's and other dementias and just the benign forgetfulness of old age it really comes down to, does the forgetfulness make a difference in your daily life? Does it affect your day-to-day living? For instance, almost all of us will forget where we put our car keys, invariably. But but you're able to go back, trace where you've been, find the car keys, be a little bit frustrated, but go do it. You may have a hard time remembering somebody's name. You're sitting there and you're thinking, well, that kid that sat behind me in high school who used to always flick my ear, what was his name? I can't think of that. And then sometime later it will come to you. And it's frustrating, but it doesn't affect your ability to do the things you need to do day in and day out. So some of those, it's almost like delayed, it's delayed memory loss. It's not really totally lost. Lewy body dementia, and sometimes things like a lot of causes of dementia other than Alzheimer's disease, although Alzheimer's disease probably counts for anywhere from 40 to 60% of the cases of dementia. Other things that we see very commonly are disease processes called vascular dementia, for instance, Lewy body dementia, and sometimes things like normal pressure hydrocephalus and frontotemporal dementia. The most common one behind Alzheimer's disease is vascular dementia. Vascular dementia occurs in the setting of high blood pressure, elevated cholesterol, other cardiovascular diseases. And it seems to be a little different from Alzheimer's disease. Alzheimer's disease is a very slowly progressive loss of function, whereas vascular dementia, folks tend to lose their abilities to remember and think in a stepwise progression. What makes it more complicated now, though, is that we think we see a lot of what we refer to as mixed dementia. And these are folks who probably are on their way to developing Alzheimer's disease, but have enough vascular risk factors that they have that as a component as well. Lewy body dementia is a really an interesting and distinctive one. That when folks have Lewy body dementia, they often will start with visual hallucinations. They may have some movement disorder. They may have a little bit of tremor. They may have problems walking. And they're very sensitive to antipsychotic medication. You're tempted to give antipsychotic medication because of the hallucinations, but it makes them much more unsteady. So having a conversation with your physician about the particular type of dementia that a loved one has is very important in terms of how you approach the treatment.
Part of it. Hey everybody, it's Kristen and Kay again. We are here. We thought we'd talk a little bit about the hard parts. It's not always about communicating when things are good. Sometimes it's about communicating and surviving when things are really, really bad. So here's the thing about combative behavior or aggression or physical anger. It is as terrifying for them, more terrifying for them than it is for us, right? And we have to remember in those times that it's not them. It's the disease, the awful part of it. Yesterday, I took my grandma with me to pick up my son from school. We've done this dozens and dozens of times. It's become a routine to go together in the morning to drop the kids off at school and to pick them up in the afternoon. Granny was a school teacher for almost 40 years, and it became a really nice way for her to go to school every day again. She asks all the time. Yesterday, we had a really nice afternoon, a couple of hours of laughter and light and really fun times. And we got to the school and we walked in, and 15 seconds after walking through the door, a flip switched. And that's how it works. That's how it works in Alzheimer's most of the time. Not all the time. There isn't always warning. There usually isn't a trigger. Things just come out of nowhere, and the good turns into bad really, really fast. Excuse me. We've had really fast progression in the physical combativeness and anger in the last couple of weeks, and that's incredibly hard to deal with. But this time was devastating. We picked up my son. We found him in the school, and we picked him up, and I was trying to coax her and guide her the way that we always do to help before things get bad. Convince her that it's her idea, using all of the tactics of communicating that we've talked about in the other video and that are very powerful and important. Sometimes in this state of mind, they don't work and they're not enough. Very quickly, things got scary and incredibly aggressive, and there was a school full of kids there witnessing things. So thankfully, one of the aides is another Sina, and she has been trained in dealing with Alzheimer's. The two of us had to physically help Grandma out of the building, which if you've ever moved or physically had to handle somebody with Alzheimer's or dementia, you know just how scary that is for them. That's, I think, the worst, is that it's terrifying for them. What they feel and how they act is incredibly real, whether that is logical at all or not, which it's not, obviously. We got her into the car, and the aide went out and got my son and got him into the car, and she was still screaming and yelling and hitting and flailing, and she gets incredibly smart when she gets aggressive and angry. Her words still don't make sense, but she has that attitude that we all know. Everybody has that attitude when they're really angry at somebody else, and it comes out in full force in that space. So we got in the car. We was buckled, and I was reassuring her that we're going to go home. We're going to be okay. We're going to see Grandpa. And she, before I was even out of the parking lot, she was opening the door, and she was really. She took my wrap and bandages off my arm. It was very, very physically aggressive. And at this point, my son in the backseat was terrified. He was very afraid. So we stopped, and I had to get out. See, this is the hard part. The combative stuff is hard. It's just hard. It's hard for everybody. And he was very scared. He ran back to school. The teachers got him, and he went home with another mom to be with some of his friends until I was able to come pick him up. And this is what you have to do. You do what you have to do to keep your loved ones safe, to keep the kids safe, to keep the grandma safe, to keep myself safe. So I parked the car, and we stopped, and you're going to see some footage along the way in this video that is hard. It's hard to see, it's hard to listen to, it's hard to watch, and it's really important. I eventually, about 45 minutes into the struggle, I hit record on my camera so that we could capture a little bit of this. I think it's an incredibly important lesson. It's something that nobody wants to talk about, and it's probably the most important thing to talk about with Alzheimer's and dementia, in my opinion. Grandma wanted to get out. And if it wasn't me, and if I hadn't been trained, and if I wasn't physically capable of helping her stay in a safe place in the car, she would have walked into the highway, or she would have gone into a building. She was screaming for help to anybody that walked by, which I had to I had to tell them that she had Alzheimer's and I had help coming, which I did. We're using a cream now for Grandma if she gets incredibly out of sorts. That helps her calm down, and I didn't have anything with me. Because it's unpredictable when this happens, I know now to keep things with me. But I had the cream coming, and I was able to keep her calm. And she was incredibly aggressive the entire time. And the only thing we can do in that space, the only thing that we can that gets us through that, is to remind them, to reassure them, even if that's not seemingly helping at the time. It does eventually calm them down. She did eventually calm down. It took a good hour, but she did eventually calm down. And we have to reassure them, keep them calm, keep calm ourselves, remind ourselves constantly that this is not the person, it's the disease. That's incredibly challenging to do. And to give ourselves space to feel that. Keep yourself safe and keep the people around you safe.
Mother, please get me! Please,
Okay.
get me!
Okay, listen, we're gonna go home in a second, okay? I gotta keep you safe. You gotta stay right here.
Oh, isn't that the money in the ground? Oh, brother. Isn't it, Rod? You don't even have one about. You don't have it in about. I'll see it in seed with people having it all inside and whacking you, and that's about.
I know.
And I have all of those things to you. And that's where they're going. You didn't even notice that, did you?
Well, we're gonna get you home as soon as we can.
Oh, you're going to get your castle. All right.
You gotta stay here, though.
You can. No, I'm going.
No, well, you have to stay here too.
I am not going.
Okay?
I am not going anywhere down here.
Okay. Well, as soon as John gets back, we'll get the cream and then we'll be able to go home.
Oh, let's see.
Okay.
Oh, no, you don't want to go.
No, we gotta stay here.
No, I guess I have to set 4. In the post of 4. And you are the dot.
It's all right, Grandma. You're gonna be okay.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt it. But you are the diffest person
I know.
in a life.
I hear you.
That's right.
I know it.
Oh, you do?
I do.
Oh, that's really interesting. Oh, isn't it good? That is the jug, and we just dunk the jug.
Listen.
And then we all jump in the jug.
You gotta stay right here.
And, oh, no, what? No, we're not.
We've got to keep you safe, okay?
Oh, that's good.
No.
I've gone dead.
No, we gotta keep your legs right there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No.
Scoot back then. There you go. That's a better way to say it.
No. Mm-mm. No.
Grandma, you've got to stay here to keep you safe. We've got to keep you right here. Okay?
We're going
Listen,
get
you know what?
to hurt.
We're going to get you
Down
home as soon
here.
as we can.
Down here.
I know.
Down here.
Well, we can't.
Help.
Hey, you're okay.
Help me.
Okay.
Help me, please.
Does that help coming?
Please, no. Help me.
Thank you.
Please help me. Okay.
You know what?
You don't want to die down
He's
there.
got you. He's
You've
going to
got to go through this stuff.
That gentleman's going home, but we've got people coming to help, okay?
No.
We're going to put some special cream on you. It'll calm us down.
Yes, I could.
Yeah, I know.
could get your head.
Well, we can't fight, though. That would hurt.
No, it wouldn't reach
It wouldn't.
because I'd have a couple of places. See,
We got to stay over here. We got to stay over here. That hurts me. You're trying to hurt me, though.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yep, you are.
That's just with it.
I
Oh,
know.
my goodness gracious sakes. And she did. She put it on there.
I hear you.
Oh, that's funny.
You know what, Grandma?
No.
It's going to be okay. You're going to be okay.
No. No, I'm not. I want to do some things
I know.
in the forest.
But I can't let you get out right here. It's not safe.
No, I know.
So we're going to wait.
I did think that you had left your start
I know you did.
in what you have. You know,
Grandma, we've got to stay right here.
no. All right. You right it. Okay. And nobody soured me. Nobody put me any place. Nobody put me at all. But you were the most pishy fifth with your brother
Yeah.
and whatever. But it's now from here. And I would like to do something with myself. Because I did not have anything to do once I come in here.
Well, that sounds awful, Grandma.
Yeah, it is awful. It is
That
awful.
sounds just awful. I'm so sorry that it feels that way.
Mhm. There was nothing.
I'm sorry, Grandma. I'm so sorry. It's 1 hour later.
I love you.
I love you too.
You are the person that is doing the first.
Well, thank you, Grandma. I'm glad to be the person.
Yes. Yes.
Like, comment, subscribe, and share this video, please. Not just for me, but for your family and the world. Don't forget me, please. Don't forget me. Thank you.